Good day. Welcome to the SI UK Dubai Talk Show. On my panel, I have Miss Dawn from King's College London. She is the head of recruitment for foundation and summer school programs. So first off, a big thank you for being here and welcome.
No problem, and thank you for having me.
So checking out this summer program, it looks very attractive. Could you enlighten us more on it?
Sure. So we run two main summer programs at King's. One is for university students who are currently undergraduates and have completed at least 1 year of undergraduate study, and that's quite specialist. So they can do a module which takes 2 weeks, and they can either do something that's related to their current studies, or perhaps they fancy trying something completely different in their summer holidays while enjoying London and our campus. And then we also offer a pre-university summer school for students who have yet to make their choices about university. And students approach this in several ways. They either try out a subject area or 2 or 3 subject areas and find out more. They might be interested in finding out more about studying in the UK generally, or King's specifically, or London. And it's an opportunity for them to come to our campus, to meet with students from all over the world, and to get a taste of some of the academic qualifications that we offer. So the pre-university ones do tend to be much more general, so students can explore, whereas undergraduate, obviously, students go into greater depth around the academia of their particular module choice.
So coming to the duration, so how long does the summer school program span for?
So we do 3 sessions of pre-university, and each of those lasts for 1 week. It's quite intensive. I think it's about 45 hours of teaching a week, so pretty hardcore. And then they have an assignment once they've completed, and they can do 1, 2, or 3 sessions if they wish to try out different subject areas. And then the undergraduate summer school, we run 2 sessions a year, and they're for 2 weeks each. The teaching time is less intensive in some respects because you have more time, but again, it is an academic qualification that you are getting potentially, depending on who you're studying with. We do have partnership arrangements with some universities, and in those cases, there may be credit attached to a module at undergraduate level.
So how can a student apply for this summer program? Is there a specific timeline or time frame?
Applications normally open in around November time. We find that students tend to apply just after the new year. So January, February, March tends to be the time that students are thinking about their summer after the winter holidays have been and gone. So yes, that's kind of when I would recommend you do that. You can apply directly to us, or you can work with somebody who knows how to apply to university to help you with that application process.
And I'm sure most of the students will think, we'll take the summer school, so do they get extra credits for completing the summer school?
So you get a certificate at the end of the summer school. If you're at a partner university and you're getting credit towards your final degree, then again, you'll get that. So it's slightly different setups depending on which one you're doing. But for the pre-university students, it's more about a taste, but it also looks really good for their UCAS applications. There's no preference given to students who've done a summer school, but of course it's another way they can demonstrate their interest in a subject area when they're applying for university.
Okay, so with regards to the application, of course, foundation is completely separate from the summer school.
Yes.
So can a student actually apply for both at the same time, or?
Yes, they can apply for both at the same time. That would mean they came to us in the summer and then they would start the academic year in September. That might be a bit too close for some students. So it's worth thinking about, if you're interested in doing a summer school, you might want to do it the year before you come to university, just because it gives you a bit of a break. And it also gives you that time to think. You've kind of committed your decision. But of course, you're very welcome to come to us 2 years on the trot if you like.
That's great. So let's get on to about the application process. So what does the admissions team look for in a potential student?
The main thing with King's, the initial thing, is your academic grades. That's really important. It's a very high achieving university, and I'm sure you're aware the grades are very competitive and the offers that we make are very competitive. It depends again on the course that you're applying for. So summer programs is different to foundation, and that's different to undergraduate as well. So if you're doing a foundation program with us, we'll be looking partly at your personal statement and very much at your academic grades. So if you're studying the local Emirati qualifications here, you go to our website and it tells you what you need to get onto the foundation, which from memory, I'm going to have to double check this, I think it's around 70%, but you'll probably know that better than me. And there's sometimes subject specifics as well in there. So if you're doing a pathway with a maths or a science, you're going to need to have good grades in that maths and or that science, which isn't terribly dissimilar to what happens when you apply for university undergraduate level. But sometimes for undergraduate, we don't accept the local qualification, and that's when you need a foundation. The foundation itself is 25% of English language for academic purposes, 50% of academic content, and another 25% of our society modules, which are about culture and society in the UK. So if you imagine, we bring together people from around 70 different countries for the foundation. So they'll be from China, they'll be from Saudi Arabia, they'll be from Peru, and they've all got very different experiences of life. And they're all in a country that's quite different, I think. So it's about them sharing their experiences, but also about learning about academia in the UK, culture in the UK, the media in the UK, so that they are ready to operate in it, to do the best they can in their degree, and they'll have a fantastic understanding of the UK by the time they've done their foundation and their degree, which makes them highly employable.
Impressive. So let's get to the next topic on hand. Is there a specific cutoff time for making an application?
It depends how you're applying. So UCAS application times are very specific. So that's for undergraduate study. And it's usually you have to apply around the 15th of January. It always used to be the 15th of January, but they changed it during COVID, and now it's a little bit fluid, but not very. So if you aim for the 15th of January, you should be good. For the foundation, this year we made the deadline the 28th of February, which is the earliest we've ever had it, and that's because of the popularity of the foundation programme and the demand for places now. So we may change that date. King's is in charge of the date for the foundation programme, UCAS is in charge for undergraduate. And I think international UCAS applicants have another deadline that's later on as well, don't they?
They do.
They do. Then for postgraduate, again, King's is in control of that. Generally, applications open around November time. Some of the very competitive programmes will close at the end of March, perhaps, but we can continue to take applications for programmes that are perhaps less popular. They tend to be very specific programmes, and they are very excellent and in-depth, but you only have a tiny proportion of people interested in them because of their very specific nature.
Right. So what about interviews? Most students would probably think, okay, we've got the offer letter now, but now it's time to go for a credibility interview.
So we don't do interviews for many degrees at King's. You have one for medicine, and I think we also interview for dentistry. You may occasionally be asked for an interview for something else, but it's very, very rare. Usually your academic grades and your personal statement are sufficient.
What about in terms of nationality? Is there sometimes a criteria that KCL has when it comes to interviews? Like if, for example, you're Pakistani or an Indian, like
No.
nationality or background, so
No, it's the same for everybody. So if you're applying for medicine, you'll have an interview. It doesn't matter where you're from, you will be having an interview. We don't worry about your nationality. We worry about your academic credentials.
okay, so and what materials are available to help students prepare for the interview? So are there some guides, videos which could be of use to them?
That's a very good question, and I'm not going to lie to you. I personally don't know, but I can have a look for you. So as you introduced me, I look after foundations and summer mainly, so I'm not quite the expert on medicine and dentistry. But I think you have to do the UCAT for both of those programs. And I think preparation for general interview is very useful. It's a specific type of interview. And I'm sure there are materials online. I don't know if we have any specifics. I'm really sorry.
That's all right, understandable. So yeah, coming to the faculty and academics wise, so of course, as it is research intensive, and I'm sure the teaching standards are very high. and excellence at King's College London. So for the students, what can they expect from their professor? What support could they get during their time?
So we have personal tutors for our students. Some students speak to their personal tutor all the time, others use them less, depending on what their needs are. And a personal tutor does a number of things. They give you some pastoral support, especially international students who are coming to a different country. Of course, UK students are coming to a new city. They are obviously very interested in your academic achievements and your work and how you're doing. And we also have student support services. So if you might be having some kind of mental health issues, you might be having financial problems, whatever it is, your personal tutor might not be able to help you directly because they don't know about that, but they can direct you to somebody that can help you in our student services team. And the health and well-being of our students is as important as their academic abilities. And actually, if they're healthy and well and happy, they will be much better students and they will be achieving better in their academic studies.
So coming to the course, is it more like research focused, or does it involve work placements as well, or a combination of both?
It depends on the degree you do, and it's a combination. So in your first year of an undergraduate degree, for example, you won't have as many optional modules. In fact, in some cases, you'll have no optional modules. And as I say, it varies from degree to degree, so always do your research. In your second year, you'll have some optional modules and some compulsory modules. Your final year, you will have fewer compulsory modules and more options because you're kind of directing your study around your interests. Then we offer some degrees have a placement with them, so there'll be a 4-year program with your third year in a placement. And we also have a careers office within the university who will help you look for internships and placements and can actually help you agree a placement if you want to find something different and outside of what is available.
And how about the professional networking seminars, like, for example, expanding your LinkedIn network or meeting industry professionals? So how often are these events conducted?
Wow, there's so many events at King's. So where we're based, you literally walk out of Bush House via one door, and to your right, I'm terrible at right and left, to your right you've got the Inns of Court and all the law area, and a bit further up you've got the city. To your left you've got political London, and you're based in the arts and creative area where you've got the theatres and the galleries and the restaurants and the BFI. So it's all there, and we have close links with a lot of businesses and cultural institutions, including the Royal Opera House and the BFI, the British Film Institute. And in addition to that, we have a number of student societies who do a lot of networking events. We've got the departments and the faculties doing their own networking events. There's definitely events every single week with lots of different institutions. We have hospitals attached to King's as well. So there's loads of opportunity to go and build your networks. And if you build them well, you may walk out with a job before you've even applied, if you see what I mean. We also have the Entrepreneurship Institute, and that brings together students from all different parts of the university. So you might have business students mixing with geography students, and they'll have some great idea. And the geographer has the ability to do one thing, and the business student has the ability to add something else, and they've set up a business. And I've met some of the students that do that. So truly excellent opportunities.
So is this usually applicable to final year students, or can anyone go?
No, anybody can get involved. You know, if you're a foundation student, you can join the societies the same as everybody else. And we recommend that you do. We find that students who get themselves involved in societies do better, and they make friends as well. So they don't just make friends from their course or from the accommodation, they make other friends with similar interests. And that makes a difference to your life, and it could be the start of an amazing career, but also just a fabulous friendship that helps you through university.
And lastly, what about the recognition of King's College London, the degrees you get for that?
So King's College London is one of the top universities in the world. Depending on which department you're in, we could be number 1 or number 2 in the world for some things. It changes regularly. We are very, very high in terms of the power and the influence of our research. I think we're 6th in the world, but it could be 4th. It's excellent. Sorry, that question, could you just repeat that?
Yeah, so I was talking about the degrees. So.
Yeah. And so your degree is from one of the top 24 universities in the UK, the Russell Group. That's a very special group of universities. So it's an exceptionally good qualification to have and to take and to show to a future employer.
All right, so I guess that wraps up for today. More to come later on. Thank you for taking the time out.
Pleasure.